Kenapa nipis?
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. It is Tuesday, August 18th. How you doing, Chewy?
I'm good, man. I'm excited for tonight. I love when things happen. I hate that things happen, but I also love that things happen.
Yeah.
There's the hobbyist hates it. The content creator side of me that likes to talk about spice and other things is like, fuck yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has happened, specifically in the last 2 to 3 days, that is cool, some not so cool, some resolved, some not yet even known if it's actually an issue.
Hopefully resolved.
Hopefully resolved.
But yeah, and DD Klein, thank you. That was a team effort. I came up with the first half and typed it in, and then Osiris came up with the second half. And it's something that's just that extra bit of creativity, right? It's just that it's like, oh, I was taking a shower before stream, and I was like, what am I gonna name? And then I was just like, Graen drop top. I was like, it's too perfect not to use.
And then I was like, wait, can we add the third thing we're talking about? Kate on the Kara, pop.
Pop.
Oh,
yeah, get your popcorn out, get your melons, whatever. I'm gonna be mean. Not really. I'm not gonna be that mean. I have strong opinions about things, but that's why we're here, right? You guys like to listen to our strong opinions, and I appreciate that. So thank you for listening to us. Just a couple of cowboys from Texas.
Cowboys, so we're cowboys
Dallas,
now?
Dallas, Texas. We're gonna start. If you guys want us to wear cowboy hats, $10 donation. One stream.
Setting the bar low. $10 for a cowboy hat. All right.
Yeah, you can go get one of those cheap ones from Party City.
Is that
even a company? Is that even a company anymore?
I think it is. I think it is. I think I might actually have a cowboy hat somewhere, but it's like a children's cowboy hat. So that would be pretty funny. It'd be comically small.
Boots. I have cowboy boots. I mean, I think that's one thing that a lot of people in Texas have is cowboy boots.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I want a Woody cowboy hat for. Yeah, we can make that work. Maybe I can get the Jesse one that's bright red. Just go crazy.
We got to do the dress up for Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. There we go. We'll do something Halloween. Cowboy boots are for snake bite defense. Absolutely. No, we're gonna get into it. But first, we'll it's all right. It's gonna be one of those streams. All right. I'm already talking. My brain's thinking faster than my mouth can talk. Cowboy bit, Scott Water. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's officially gonna happen now. But quick shout out to our sponsors. We'll hear more from them later. But Dixie Mech, Canon Keys, SwitchMod.net, and Project Keyboards are awesome sponsors. We could not do this without them, as well as our awesome partners, Smith & Rune, Zap Cables, and Type Beast. So thank you guys for helping support the channel, keeping the channel fun and alive, and welcome.
Yeah. Do you want to give a shout out to Blow J for the tier 1 sub for 3 months? Appreciate that. That was right as we went live. Thanks, my dude.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, before we get into it today, I think you've got some mail.
007.
I've got some cool mail. I'm excited.
Islington, thank you for the Twitch Prime for 3 months. Appreciate that, my dude.
Right. Blow J, we look forward to this every week. So thank you. I gotta say, you might. I don't know who's got cooler mail today. I'm gonna say I do because it's for me.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, for sure.
I think, but you also have some really fucking cool shit. So,
all right, you want to go first? Do you want?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm too excited to not go first.
All right.
So, some mail came in for me. I've been kind of teasing at this. Quick little backstory to this. I don't like to say in-game boards. I don't like to call them in-game because I don't think there's in-game, but I do think there are Grail keyboards, boards that you want, boards that are somewhat unattainable. And this board in particular, well, this is just a box, but this board in particular is one that I've been wanting for a long time. I don't think, as of right now, released there is not as good of a 60% gasket mount board. And so where's the shine? There's the shine.
Got it.
I got me a key colt. Got me a 60% key colt. Super pumped. Look at that sweet ass and pro box, dude. Yeah. I paid double for the and pro just for the box. So I will say, I'm going to give the full review. We've got a lot of YouTube content that's planned, that's getting ready to go. This is like incredibly difficult to pull out. And there's nothing in here, and it was easier. It took me 10 minutes just to get the board out. So while appreciate the packaging, it's like I just want my damn board. Just want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, see, I'm interested in what Raz just said. Drop test win. Are you gonna drop that puppy?
Oh, well, no. I may have some Dixie bags coming. So hope maybe, I don't know, who knows. Not gonna say no.
Will it blend? True.
So the unboxing experience, I'll talk really quick. It came in 2 different boxes. It was nice, packaged nicely. What's funny is we talked about the unboxing experience like well over a year ago now, I think. And it was like Keycold was always like really up there, right? It was always very nice. That was something to look forward to. It's almost like it's a little meh now because a lot of people have great packaging. Once again, there's fantastic. I love the box. It looks nice. The plate comes in a different box than the actual case. I assume just to protect the case from any and all issues, as this, I am sure, is a lot cheaper than the actual board. Building it today, hell yeah. So very excited. Got the brass plate, and I've already put it in this bag.
Little modern coup bag.
Yep. The WT60A by Wilba. Not a fan of the red, but you know what? Who cares? It's a PCB, right? I know it's going to be great because the WT60 is already a solid PCB in the Flexi Boy form. Here it is. Oof. Come on. Oof. Oof is right. Got a little side profile. And the back. So I got the white and brass version. This is a B stock. The 2 marks denoted as B stock. Yeah. Okay.
Can you? Where are they, and what? So, can you see them?
I haven't found one of them. I've had to do quality control on keyboards before, so like I know how to look at a keyboard to look for the problems. One of them, they said there was on the lip. Maybe it's on the inside, and I just really look at the inside of the lip. Never really found it. There is the tiniest blemish on the weight. And I mean, I don't think this would even come through on camera. Nope.
No, I don't even see it.
Nope. It's yeah. I'm like, okay, B stock. I'm like mad about it.
Well, it's one of those things too. It's like a small blemish like that on the weight. Realistically, after a couple months of use, you're probably gonna have more blemishes than that on the weight.
Exactly. I'm like, yeah, through the fucking build, I'm gonna have more blemishes on the weight right now. Very excited. So this build stream is going to be a week from Saturday. Is going to have Zycos in it. It's going to be a longer stream because why did I open it before getting on the box or before opening it on stream? Osiris and I have had the month of July. We had a couple rough builds.
Oh yeah,
some builds that didn't go as well as they could have. Not in the sense that they were built bad, but they were just more difficult. So we have started basically make sure the switches fit nice and easy, make sure it's basically do a dry run, not completely build it, but throw a couple switches in a couple different spots of the switches that are going to go into it. Make sure everything is it's kind of like, you should be testing your PCBs, right? Throw a couple switches in the plate before you get yourself 80% of the way through a build and you're like, fuck, it's all screwed up. So I did take it out and I tested it with Zycos. Zycos going to be a little tricky in it, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Anything else?
That is it for mail, and I will on my desk the old tried and true.
Ooh, you're getting some patina there on that weight.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Baka 60. It's got some dings. I love this thing. Obviously, I love this thing. It's my own damn board. But the weight looking nice and rough. I took a really nice picture of this. It'll be up on our Instagram soon. If you don't follow us on Instagram, give us a follow on Instagram. We've been posting more pictures of boards. Because we do builds on weekends now, we can actually take pictures in natural light, so that's nice. But yeah, tried and true. Can't go wrong.
Boom. Well, I think I'm up. All right. I've got mail. This is another. I think this is a pretty in-game board for some people as well. I think maybe some people who are in the hobby maybe don't even know about the board 100%. But this thing is a chonker. If you can't tell, it comes in a Vault SKB flight case, or Pelican, not SKB. Yeah. So this is a Kepler, and this is the other route. You know, Keycult has a nice box. It's nice put together. It fits their brand. This is I'm going to give you the thing that you could take with you anywhere. And this is
and throw it down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, also that.
Break the stairs though.
This is the Kepler. This is the top. Everything is individually like wrapped like this. It's really nice. Obviously the Kepler, it's got the Limo cable that you have to use, provided by Zap Cables. So props to them. This has a nice, it's like a blue PVD,
a navy black PVD.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet looking plate there. And then this chonker of a thing, which is the bottom. And this thing weighs just the bottom alone weighs 12 pounds. Not even. It's not 12 pounds, but it's heavy. It is a heavy board.
Let me see your camera real quick. Just hold it up. Let's see the camera.
You want to see the camera? There you go. Hey, there's the camera. And some lights. And my webcam. And another light. But yeah. This thing will be built in a couple weeks. We're still waiting. This is for a client. Still waiting on switches to go in this bad boy. But man, this thing is heavy. It is a chonker of a board. So, very excited. We get this all packed up, and then we will show off what's on my desk, because this thing is so big, I can't have anything really else on my desk other than this case.
We don't know what switches are in it yet. The client is trying to decide. Waiting on some new switches to come in to make the decision and then send them our way.
Yep. So it should be in the next couple weeks. At the earliest, it'll be not this upcoming weekend or the next, because that will be the OSA and then Keycult, but hopefully the week after that.
Don't have a hernia.
Yeah, it is heavy. But as far as what is on my desk today, I just cannot stop using this. It's been on my desk intermittently since I built it, and that is my Plum Iron 165 with Zykos. Dude, it's just such a good board. I just can't go away from it. It just feels like it's one of those boards that gives me a whole nother pleasure of using, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. I've typed on it. Types feels great. Yeah, it's it is kind of funny. Crador, we'll let you know. We are going to be trying some on the Navy switches. More on the AE later. But and Captain Ladies Man, yeah, we've been that's why we haven't said 100% oh yeah, we got these builds. We've known about these builds for a little bit. And we're just August is end of August, September is just we're gonna start, and we can't even tell you about some of the other builds that are gonna be happening soon. So some really, really cool stuff happening very soon.
Yeah, we got lots of cool stuff happening over the next couple months. So come hang out with us. Our build streams are now on Saturdays. So if you don't know that, we stream Saturday at 2 p.m. Central. So come hang out with us. Throw us on while you're doing something around the house, while you're hanging out. If you're bored, come hang out with us. I've enjoyed the Saturday builds. I know we're both about one deep. How did you enjoy it this past Saturday?
I enjoyed it. It felt weird because like an hour after I got done, I got tired because I was like,
it's your brain being like,
yeah, it's like my brain's like, wait, time out. Like I said, I love that, one thing that we'd love to do is take pictures like almost immediately once the build was done before I tore everything down. For the stream, I just grabbed my camera and I went to the other room and took some good pictures of it. And it was just nice to be able to kind of do that with natural light, because I can't. I mean, for those in photography, it's hard to beat natural light. And so that was fun, and it was simple. I think the only thing is I was kind of like sitting there twiddling my thumbs, like, oh, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, I feel that. It's nice doing the Saturday because you don't feel like you have to rush a little bit. You can relax a little bit, take a little bit of time. If there's a whole bunch of questions in the chat, you can slow down a little bit, which is really nice. Also, Bobby types, I love how a lot of the community, at least, well, I feel like a lot of our community is from Texas just because we're from Texas, because we have a lot of friends personally, but there is quite a bit.
There's a lot, and we're able to go to the other Texas meetups because before COVID hit, there was like 3 a year in each city. And so it's very easy for us to just buzz down to Austin and buzz down to Houston, and go kind of expand there. So, and that's Osiris and I kind of treat meetups like business trips. Like that's if the people that know us there, that's awesome. We get to meet people in real life. If people don't know us, great. That's an opportunity for us to introduce ourselves to more people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So today we've got quite a few topics. Which one do you want to do first, Chewy?
Let's tackle the keycaps. The new keycaps. Let's ease into the spice.
Okay, so we'll go Kate first then.
Kate
pop first. All right, let me make sure I've got it set up. So, if you're unaware and you haven't been following Rama on Instagram and Twitter on their social medias the past couple days, they have released this, which is the Kate profile. Obviously, it's not fully released, but they released the teasers for it. If you can't tell by the title, this is Kate on the Kara. Pop. This is an interesting profile. It is a sculpted profile, but looks like a typewriter. How you feel about this, Chewy?
Sorry, hold on.
Medium? No, you're not.
Like Gladiator. No. We talked about this. Cyrus and I talked about this for a couple minutes before the stream. I don't like this at all. I think now I've been wrong before. I have not typed on this. I don't think that many people have. So I can't for certain say I hate this. You can't. My dad always told me growing up, you can't dislike a food unless you try it. This is something that's like I can't fully not like it until I try it, but I'm not trying this until I know someone who owns it or I go to a meetup, because I'm not buying this. One, I'm not a big fan of this colorway. I don't know what colorways they're going to be doing, but it reminds me a lot of MT3, and I really don't like MT3. And I don't like the look of it. I don't really care about typewriters that much. It has that typewriter feel. Not for me.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing with it, I think it's great that there are more options, right? And I think this could come in and be another cool option like an MT3. I don't think this will take off like Cat has, but I think this is a cool option because it does look aesthetically a little bit more different than a lot of the other caps. But The thing that I don't like about this is how narrow the tops of the caps are. It doesn't seem quite as. It seems like it'll kind of hug your fingers and suck them in a similar way to MT3, but it does look a little bit shorter. The big thing that will be the turning point for me is what the pricing will be on this. I wonder what the pricing will be, because if it's really low, it could be worth it.
Yeah, if it's low, and if you can keep it, it depends on the kitting too, right? Because like if it's like a TK, enough for what I wouldn't be surprised is if they have a kit specifically designed just for the Kate, right? Or the car, the Kara. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had the cheaper kits, the little breakout kits of just like, oh, if you want to buy the one-stop shop, here's some switches, here's the keycaps, kind of like the Tada 68. I could see them kind of going that route where you get everything but switches, and it's a hot swap, so you just buy your own switches, pop them in, or here, buy some switches as well. Which is cool, which I do really like. I think that's a cool option. If you see it with vendors who are making their own boards and making their own keycap set, Canon Keys, if you're listening, perfect opportunity. If you're making a keyboard and you also like are the main distributor of keycaps, such as like the Canon caps, you're able to do a whole lot with that kind of bundle price, and you're able to sell the complete kit to someone, which we don't see a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's something where like you mentioned, the board like the Tada 68 was a great board for a lot of people, and I think Soulful Tofu, say that 5 times fast, said, and for both of us as well, the Tada 68 was the first custom board because it was a nice little package of like, hey, here's everything, just throw it together. Even offerings of it being together, and especially now with Hot Swap, because Hot Swap wasn't a thing when that released. Things like this from Rama, if they do this with a Kara, like what you're saying, where they package in a set of Kate with it, would be a really cool option. And you get something that's pretty cool for not a lot of money. The picture up there, some people were asking about some of the side profiles. You can kind of see here. It is. It doesn't look like it's as aggressive of a sculpt as MT3 or like a suck on your fingers. I feel like, I don't know what the proper term is for that, but the actual sculpt in the individual keycap, it doesn't look like it's going to suck your fingers in as much as MT3 will. But I'm interested to see. What happens with this. I think it's a cool idea. I don't know if this is for me, but we'll see.
Yeah. It's not for me. I think the one thing on this, there's a lot they can do with this, which I think is great. Also, Heine Bush, you should totally do that. It's unique. There is someone out there who loves this, and what's great about this hobby is that person is going to be able to get exactly what they want. They'll go, oh, I'm just wanting a keyboard. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen these weird mechanical keyboard, like typewriter knockoff type things that are sold in mass quantities by these companies that are just kind of like, oh, it's a very niche thing where it's like, oh, if you want this kind of cool like typewriter looking thing, like here it is, and if you want that but you also want to actually have like a good keyboard, then you can have those keycaps, these keycaps on something. So it's cool. We try and preach. I'm not going to buy this personally because I just I don't feel like I'm going to like it. I will absolutely try it at some point, but I don't feel like I'm going to like it. But if you like this, go for it. Absolutely. Wait for pricing, but go for it, because this could be your favorite keycap set. This could be your favorite keycap profile. Who knows? It could be mine. It could be Osiris's. Highly doubtful, but it could. So, don't think that because some people don't like it, you shouldn't try it. If you like the look of it, fuck it. Fuck everybody else. Just go for it.
Yeah, for sure. And Viperman, even if it is cherry profile, I mean, with the corners rounded, that still changes the way it feels, right? Like, It's going to change the way your fingers interact on it. So, yeah, what you said. Thank you for the 69 bits.
69.
That's the sex number.
That's the sex number. Let's get into it. While Heine's here, let's talk about some spice. If you guys don't know, Heine Bush, amazing PCB designer, amazing keyboard designer, runner. Is Space Cable still running right now? Shout out to the Space Cable set. I bought the round 1 or 2, and he made the H60, which is the PCB space. Yeah, there is. Grab that link if you guys want some of the. If you're getting like the Alice boards from SM Keyboards, or Switch Couture, or just maybe the Tank. Maybe you got a Tengu and you don't have access to some of these spacebar sets that use it, and you don't want to use upside down shift keys. Go check out that. It's a cool little set, pretty inexpensive, has you covered for a lot of different sets. Or do the other thing too, which is see if you have a friend who, maybe you need this color and he needs this color, save a little money, or buy both, either one. But,
check it out.
Or buy both. But no, Heine Bush is great, and we're actually going to have him on next week. And it's always a good time with Heine Bush.
That it is. It is always a good time. So what do you want to do next? You want to do keycaps or you want to do artisans?
Let's do keycaps. So real quick, GMK, you're not in the fuck up light tonight.
True. GMK is not in the did they have issues Mechs on deck spotlight. But the other one that has been very popular as of late and that's Infinity, and a set that was designed by a dear friend of the channel, the man that you hear when you sub, cheer, we get hosted, or follow, Mr. Langlandia. Graen isn't having some issues.
A little bit. Avg have not seen it. Post the link if you can. GMK could be screwing something up by all means, but right now everyone's looking at Finicky, at least today.
Also, Spacebars is kind of the same issue we've been having for a while, so I don't count that as like a new thing, right? Like it's the same thing, just added.
Same but different. Graen does kind of look spray painted. So let's talk colors first, because colors is usually the first one that people are going to get upset about. So the colors, there's a fade. First and foremost, there's a fade. Not something you want to see at all. These colors are supposed to be very uniform. It's a feature, absolutely. What's funny is when I saw the fade, I was like, actually, that looks kind of dope, but like, obviously, that's not that's not what this is about. But it's something that this is kind of their first really big like Infinity. Like you had Demonic, which is red and black, and the black, a lot of people were like, it's black. It's like you're never going to get it as black as you want it, but it was pretty consistent. I did open it up because I have the Square 80 build from the other day. I opened up the keycaps, just wanted to see how they sounded and how they looked, and yeah, it was pretty good. But obviously, it's not as black as it could be. But this, however, is rough. This isn't even comparable, in my opinion. This is, people are like, oh, it's not black enough. No, this is literally two different colors on a keycap set.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate because, especially I literally was talking about last week of how impressed I was with Sanctuary Rebirth, and to see this is just really unfortunate. And while I also agree with you, I think it actually looks kind of sick. It's one of those things that it's going to be inconsistent because of the way that the fade is, right? So it's not going to be, it's going to look blotchy, I would assume. So yeah,
Avg, that was great. That's a good joke. Appreciate it. Game respects game. No, it's you hate to see it. It's an inexpensive set, but you're still spending $100 on this massive kit. We don't know how widespread these issues are. I bought a set to support my friend Lang. I also really like the set. So I bought a set, so it should be coming to me here in the next week or two. This is a final product. Yeah, Grind, it was a final product. So I am curious, I'll get it in, take pictures, we'll show it off on video. I'll probably we'll show the whole unboxing. It might be the second time because I get restless. But if it comes on a Tuesday, I'll wait. But it's one of those one of those things that, yes, it's unfortunate. And the only thing you can do is hope that they fix it for the upcoming future sets. At least now we're just talking about, currently we are only talking about the color fade.
Yeah. Which is also like the little specs.
Because there are more problems.
Yeah, like the little specs, the other thing that worries me of like the of that. It doesn't look like it's a texture. It looks like it's inconsistencies in the dyeing process. So I mean, I don't know. This is one of those things. It's a little bit of speculation and going off the word of like what one person is saying. So I would, obviously this is kind of with a grain of salt based on these pictures and based on the accounts of this kit.
A grain of salt.
A grain of salt. Also, people wondering about how this will affect other kits. When you see stuff like this, it's actually good because it means that they're going to basically, at some point, Infinity and Key Company are going to be like, hey, what the hell's going on? And then they're going to put things in place to hopefully make it not happen again. That's what we've seen in the past of righting their wrongs and looking at improving as they move forward on to newer sets. So kits like Amalfi, which is running right now, as well as like Islander, I'm sure that they're going to do things differently. So
I'm going to make one more pun. It's a gradient. Sorry. Stop. No, yeah, it's the first things first, because we have an official quote. I went to Lang and I was like, I'm sure you're having a great day, and I'm sure you're actually probably really pissed at the pictures you've been seeing, but I want like an actual official quote from you. Full disclosure, Graen's a great friend. Graen Lang is a great friend of mine. He's streaming right now. He's streaming right now too. He's a great friend, but he knows that I'm going to be honest, and he would want this. I would want the same from him. Lang, I like that. But the other issue, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, is the TKC can't do much, right? You don't want to break the shrink wrap on every single kit, so they're going to have to send out bad kits, or they're going to. I'm sorry. First and foremost, just in general, I don't want people. I would rather be the one to open it up from the factory. I don't want it pre-opened up. That's how things can get messed up. As a vendor, that you run into a lot of like, if there are any problems with it, then you now have lost a lot of, like, oh, it came from the factory, we'll get it figured out that way. And two, because of COVID right now, obviously, I know things can't, there's studies that are like, oh, it can't live on stuff, but still, it's like, it's best to just be sanitary. One box to another box, don't open it up right now. So people are going to be mailed out. Potentially, people are just going to get mailed out things that are wrong. And the best thing you can do right now is hope that TKC and Infinity can make this right.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will. I don't think, because they are one of the only people. They are the branded partner of Infinity. They are going to have to do something with some of these issues, because it's one of those things, whenever something like this happens, it gets so much traction in the community. Whether it's super widespread or not, you have to turn around and talk about it, acknowledge it, and say how you're going to deal with it and make sure it doesn't happen again, or basically how you're going to change moving forward. But there are other issues. Also, I do want to give a quick shout out to Fazza for the 2-month sub, Twitch Prime. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
But there's 2 other issues. One of them is one that I have not seen in a while. and that's the wart on the Switch.
The warts.
Or not on the Switch, but on the keycap. This backspace is struggling.
Yeah, it's clearly it was not handled properly when being removed from the molds. Come on. Come on. That's the one that's inexcusable to me.
Yeah, that's
warping is hard to see, and if you want to sit there and balance a space bar 6,000 times, and that's your job, and that's how much money you grant Infinity's be more expensive. This is something you should be able to spot like pretty quickly. This is the one that I am not super happy with. This is the one that I am most worried about getting this on my kit. Just pop it. It's a pimple. There you go. Honestly, because you may run in. I don't think there's not a huge chance, but if you have an artisan or something that extends a little bit further, that's when you could start running into clearance issues.
I mean, thank God it's on that corner of the backspace, because if it was in the opposite corner, it would have a lot more issues with running into like sides of boards and stuff on 60s.
So, and it's a stabilized key, so if that could be screwing up your stabilized, whether or not how much you're lubing it or what. The best thing you can ask for is that they replace those keys, right? And I think that's what they should do. I think anything less of that would be inexcusable.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it's a crazy huge bump, but if on boards that have closer, if like you have a 65% and then you have an artisan next to it, that could run into issues where it catches on they catch on each other. But that isn't excusable. You should be able to see that when you're QCing and you're putting the kits together. Like I don't get how that made it in, right?
Yeah.
And this so far, this is the only one we've seen, right? This one backspace. But hope there's not more. Like that could be a really big issue if it's on alpha keys. Because they're already so close to each other that you add that little bit extra and then they're going to be, it's unusable,
Yeah. Scott Water says, don't you just throw 2U backspaces in the trash? No, they're good. They're good for like scraping, if you get crap on your counter and you need to like scrape something off your counter, they're perfect for that. If you like a little fidget cube, you could probably clean your nails with them. Those are all things you can do with 2U backspaces.
Use it as one of those things like when you go to the fancy restaurants, they have the guy that comes around and cleans the table with like the metal scrapers. Just one of those.
If your table's feeling a little wobbly, maybe you just throw 2U backspace under the desk and prevent it from wobbling. All great things you can do with that 2U. So, but no, at the end of the day, I don't care if it's the ISO enter. I'm expecting at minimum, the color one, I would potentially let go. The color issue, I would potentially let go. Because right now, and all this does is prove that Infinity, I'm going to quote Letterkenny, it's just not ready. It's just not ready to throw punches with GMK right now. They haven't shown it. As of right now, this is probably going to affect some Infinity sales, kind of rightfully so. But all they've done now is proven that, hey, we've got quality control issues and we're further back than we could be. And while GMK is dealing with their own fucking mess of quality control issues right now, they're not ready for the heavyweight title yet.
Yeah. And Nick Licks asks, how were the space bars? Surprisingly, from what I've seen, the space bars were actually pretty good. Like I saw some
focus on space bars.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of it on a desk. They looked pretty solid, pretty even. Yeah. So
color issues, there is basically the fade, because the fade's not supposed to be there. It's not a matching thing. The nice thing about Graen and the nice thing about Infinity is that they send a full sample kit out, so you can see the full sample beforehand. And with dye subs, it's a little bit easier to kind of go, okay, that's exactly what it's going to look like. So when we say color issues right now, the fade.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if like Olivia had a fade? Like
Some people might like it, you know?
some people might, but resellers might not. Who knows?
There's still one more issue though.
Yes,
Missing keys.
missing keys. Probably the easiest to fix. Once again, they're kind of keys. One of them, I believe, was I'm not looking at the picture with you, but I believe one was the page up, page down, which I'm like, I get, man.
Yeah.
Like if you miss that, like I kind of understand. Like it's still, once again, inexcusable. You should have done your job. We don't know how many kits this has affected. The novelty, maybe because there's already some umbrellas, I don't know. But these are all keycaps that have kind of another partner cap with it, and it's not like they left the enter key out. Still, again, inexcusable. Hopefully they fix it. Should be fixed, but that's where I'm like, I can see where the human error is.
Yeah, it just feels like a sorting issue, which makes me wonder how many, like you said, how many sets will be affected by this. But yeah,
how many sets are going to have?
Yeah,
You're gonna have about 4 extra page ups and page downs.
Yeah, right. But if it's not apparent, it's a page up, page down, and the green umbrella novelty. So you do have like, this doesn't make the set completely unusable, except for like on certain boards, I guess. Because I don't know the row profiles of those. What would that be? Okay, maybe you might have a hard time on some 65s.
Yeah.
But other than that, you should be fine. This isn't completely unusable, right? Like you have other keys that will make up for that. They may just not say exactly what you have them mapped to, but you could make do until they fix it, right? Until they send you out those 3 keys.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be one of the easier fixes. Right now, this is the bad thing, good thing and bad thing. How you fix this, right? Is you need to collect how much of the issue is, but we don't know how big of an issue this is until all the sets have been shipped and they've all been there, so that the vendors can start collecting data to send off to Infinikey. And then extras, you have to deal with whether or not you want to send extras out and then deal with the problem. So as of right now, you're kind of just screwed. But I don't. It would be really not. It wouldn't be a great business move for TKC to not fix this, because they will.
Yeah,
I think they will. I don't think they wouldn't. Like they're going to do a good job in getting this handled. They've handled themselves professionally in the past. They're going to handle themselves professionally in the future.
Yeah, especially because they have invested interest in the success of Infinikey. They're going to do everything they can to make it right. They had issues with Katakana. They went back to the drawing board, did some things. They made some adjustments on how they look at space bars and stuff. Bread and Sanctuary Rebirth, I feel like, went pretty well. There wasn't any overwhelming issues. So now that these have arisen, then I'm sure they're going to go back and figure it out and hopefully rectify this for people. Again, with this community, if you got this, you can probably, and you don't like it, you could probably sell it for what you paid for. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the other big thing is, if you're upset by this, if you're worried, guess what? TKC probably hasn't slept a good night. They're not going to be sleeping easy tonight. That's for sure. So I want to I'm going to read this little quote from Langlandia right now. First and foremost, I try not to be an asshole, but if you go after the designer of a set when the set has problems, fuck you. Because it's not like I was going over what we were going to talk about with my wife tonight, and I was like, yeah, unfortunately what happens is the designer designs a keycap set and then takes it to a vendor, or a vendor goes to them, and then they go, okay, let's make this. And then the vendor takes the money and then gives that money to the manufacturer. The manufacturer messes up, gives it to the vendor mails it out. And for whatever reason, people go attack the designer.
Yep.
And if you're that person, bye, get out. Keep Noob, thanks for the 420 bits.
That's the weed number.
That's the weed number. So Lang says, the simple fact is that I was told these kind of issues were being corrected. I, as the designer, can only trust the vendor at face value on that part. Also, they also order extras and extra space bars like 10% over just in case to address any failures in quality control. So the vendors should have no trouble correcting issues in the wild. Also, I'm not sure how systemic these issues are in truth. It seems to be a vocal few, but I've been wrong before. But I hope it's less widespread than and just an overreaction in terms of the color samples. I matched look correctly and were the color I wanted. If the production colors have varied from that, that's different matter entirely. That falls back on QC. That's a huge point. That said, I chose the color intentionally for people to argue over what the real color is and said as much in the IC and group buy. No one should be surprised. Every render shows a different shade essentially. Well put, Langlandia. Langlandia 2020.
Yeah. Good. Well put, Mr. Langlandia. I wouldn't have expected anything less. He's a fantastic lad and very well spoken. Honeybush has an interesting question. What if the designer has a history of miscolored, mismatched sets despite being given the benefit of the doubt? I think with that, I point to what like Dixie, Project Keyboard, and a couple other vendors are doing through Nebulant of doing like the actual like scientific matching of the colors and doing like the actual trying to get it as close scientifically as possible. I think is a great way to get around that, because then you're matching it to the Pantones or RAW colors as closely as possible, and you have the numbers to back it up. So I think it's one of those things. It's as people do that, you can look to that, and then if someone continually has the same issues, you can almost kind of expect it. I feel like, not that you really should, but you can kind of expect it. As Chewy brings out.
All right. So we're going to talk about a keycap designer. Someone that clearly I hate. Someone that just is the worst. All right. Someone that can't match colors correctly at all. No. Okay. Listen. Things. I also definitely dropped my Baka on the table. We all know who we're talking about. There's no beating around the bush. People have been giving Rinsuya crap about this set, Probably going to give him crap too. Yeah, these are lifty weights. I'm holding 12 pounds of keyboards in my hands right now. People are going to get mad. Are these 100% correct? Probably not. I'm not a color matician like Nebulant is. I understand these are hard colors to get right too. I took a picture of this and had to edit it and color grade it, and it was terrible. I hated every second of it, because the second you change anything, the set looks completely different. So it's going expect some variance, but I also think there's a great statement. These are two contradicting statements. I urge you to go for the latter. There's the one that's you're only as good as your last success or failure, right? Rinsuya right now is only being judged off Peaches and Cream, and Peaches and Cream is arguably the harshest one that he has been judged by so far. But as I have learned in education and I have learned in life, people can have bad days. Things can happen that are bad. Second chances. Give people these opportunities. You don't have to support him. If you go, I don't want to support any of his sets anymore, that's fine. That's your right as a hobbyist, as a human. No one is forcing you to buy these sets. So if you don't like it, vote with your wallet. We've said that from the beginning. Vote with your wallet. I love Rinsuya sets. I have 2 of them. I've got a third one on the way. But it's still, I mean, at the end of the day, if we're talking about GMK keycap sets, if you get it and it's just not the way you liked it, or you think it looks different from the monitor, then just get rid of it and move on.
There's always like 15 to 20, if not significantly more than that, people lined up ready to buy it, because that's just how this community works right now, and it still blows my mind. Every day when I look at
Love the guy.
Every day when I look at Mech Market, or every time I look at Mech Market, it still blows my mind how things are selling for the prices that they are and how quickly they sell. So
And Hooligan GMK is strictly cherry profile.
Yeah, GMK's all
Um,
cherry. Also,
yes.
Mizu's running in like its third different profile in
Yep.
the since it's come out, and so
Two profiles in the last 3 months.
people obviously like it.
So, you know, I don't like everything Rinsuya likes, but Rinsuya has made a lot of things that I do really like. I'm very excited for Terra. I think that's going to be another set that a lot of people are going to be iffy on because, once again, when you choose these desaturated colors that are hard to capture, it's going to be difficult. People like if you're that's why Bingsu's taking so long, right? Because it's a desaturated color that they're trying to get correct. I urge you to go look at GMK Muted's original accent color keys.
Oh yeah,
and then look at the renders, and then look at what's now arguably the worst.
It's pretty bad.
Arguably one of the worst ones. So when we're talking about like, oh, it doesn't really match the renders, go look at those and then go, okay, maybe these match the renders at least a little bit.
Isn't it like Solarized Dark's kind of the same line, and then of course you got the Jessica
Solarized
sets.
Dark, both the Jessica sets. So it's just one of those things.
It happens. Yeah. So, well, that's the keycaps ones. We still got one more.
We're still getting this, and I'm glad that I got to rant about Rinsuya because he's a nice guy.
He is a really nice guy,
and he's a really nice guy. And I don't get paid to say this. All right, I mean Rinsuya, he provided a keycap set for us to give away. I paid for Peaches and Cream. I paid for Mizu. We don't get free stuff from him. I genuinely just like it. If we got stuff, Osiris would be saying Mizu and Peaches and Cream is my favorite set too, but you don't hear him saying that because he doesn't like the sets. I like these colorways enough to own them. That's plain and simple.
I'm okay with both of them. I don't hate them. I just wish that Peaches and Cream, the cream was a little slightly different color cream. Slightly different.
Yeah. CP is hard to. CP is that famous color changing white.
Yeah.
So anyway, new stuff. Let's. Man, I feel like I'm Carrot Top right now with all the props.
Dude, you're propped up, dude.
Talk about Arties.
Here, you want to show those off? We'll give you a little bit of screen time so you can show those off. Oof. Well, it's gonna just reflective. Just take the cover off.
Yep. There's a beard hair in there.
Shardisons. There you go.
Little artisans. Come on. Oh, there goes one.
There goes one.
Essay profile. Oh, there goes another.
Dude, that's there goes the what I can't. It's like the Fugu, but it's got a different name because it's like not fully Fugu.
Yeah, I forget the name of a lot of. I have them all written down somewhere, and I've got it in a Google Drive of like all the official names for all these caps. I've got my Lividity on a board. I've got a bunch of bears on a board, some prime caps on boards. I love me some artisans. I haven't gotten one in a while. I haven't gotten a bear in a while, which is saying something.
True. That is saying something. You were on a bear kick for a little bit.
I eventually will get back onto it, but I've been in the process of upgrading camera gear and all that stuff. So I've been penny pinching. I haven't bought anything keyboard related in a hot minute. So
same. Well, there is some issues. Well, some drama with Bob Handcraft, with specifically the Yasha Artisan keycap. It is the drama. I think is kind of a little bit squashed, but not necessarily 100%. So basically, if you didn't know what happened earlier today, basically Bob released this statement, and I'll put it up on the screen now, and I'll read it as well. Dear Drop, in the past 24 hours, I've contacted you about 6 times through Instagram, email, and the information on the Drop site, but so far I haven't received a reply, so I can only submit it here. Bob Handcraft does not entrust anyone, nor does it have any agent. I, as the designer, didn't know the Yasha app currently sold on the Drop website. Sorry, there's a little bit of a translation, I'm assuming. basically saying he didn't authorize it. Besides, you are still selling under the Bob Handcraft name. I really don't know who authorized you. I rarely quarrel with others when I sell other people's works publicly. But this matter has already made me intolerable. I actively contacted you, hoping this matter can be resolved in private, but it does not seem to get your attention, and there is no way to contact you. I already petitioned myself, Instagram here, saying that this cap has nothing to do with him. So it goes on from there, but yeah, this is an interesting thing. Basically, just straight up calling out Drop, saying, "Hey, the hell, dude, this is my."
I like this. Call him out. Call him out. Absolutely. First things first. While you were listening, I was thinking, I read that post like 6 times today, so I was like, let's think about Drop right. We've got this big company. We've got this it's like the Amazon right now of keyboards. It's this company that's very removed from the hobby. They do a lot of other things. So it's kind of, it's not like the runner is not someone like Dixie or not someone like UPass who's like in the community and is able to talk to a lot of people. It's a business. I feel like people didn't bitch about Mass Drop. I feel like people started bitching about Mass Drop when it became Drop. I feel like that was the turn, the flip.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there was some before, but I feel like it was significantly less. With the second they bought Geek Hack, people were like, "What the hell's going on? How dare you?" But
it's
yeah. So there is a statement that they released. So this does provide an interesting take on this. Drop said this earlier, that Bob claims on Instagram that he is the sole artist and proprietor of the Yasha keycap. We contacted our seller, who has informed us that I'm going to say Meme DA because that sounds funnier, is the original designer and also produces all Yasha keycaps. Bob had worked with Memeda in the past to distribute their keycaps since no one at Memeda speaks English. Memeda has supplied us with original 3D rendering and file data for the Yasha keycap from 2018. We are talking with Bob to get an understanding of his side. And that's where they're at, which is interesting.
Yep. So I did a deep dive on Bob on his Instagram. He's been artisan maker at least since early 2017. So he's been around for a long time. This Yasha's cap's been around for a hot minute as well. He hasn't run too many. If you guys don't know, if you've seen any Gengar or Coughing caps, those are kind of the 2 big ones that you've seen released. He does have like a rubber ducky one that I want really bad. But the Gengar one's his most notable artisan. I feel like they've made a lot of them. He does a fantastic job on all of these. So it's not like that's kind of where it's goofy, where it's like, well, he doesn't do it a whole lot, but obviously, like they need to have permission. You can't just run stuff without his permission. Like if someone just started making Bakas or squids, I'd be like, cool, I'll meet you at court, bud. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of things that kind of you shouldn't be profiting from it, and there's a lot of worries because then it's like, well, is he taking these orders? Is he going to have to supply these orders? And one thing that he brings up, which I think is the most important, is if he has nothing to do with it and then they send out all these shitty caps, that's just going to ruin his reputation. When they're like, why are there all these QC errors? And there was infamously the M6B, I think, by Rama was the one that was kind of the big cutoff.
M10.
M10, that's what it was. Sorry, M10. Where Drop made some changes to Rama's design, and Rama just was like, "Cool, we're not working with Drop anymore." They made some changes. Those changes wound up really affecting how that group buy was. It delayed it, and it really screwed up a lot of it. And once again, Rama's someone who's like, I want to put, he's the Apple of keyboards right now, right? He wants to put out that aesthetic. He wants to put out that image. And when you start losing control of that, because someone else is making these decisions, it doesn't surprise me that Rama got really pissed off. I would get pissed off too.
Yeah. Well, and this is interesting because, the point is, even if, and people in chat are talking about this, even if they do have the ability to run this, like they're in their full rights to run it, they're still using the Bob name in order to market this, right? And so like it puts it in, like if he's not authorized, if he's not getting a portion of it, why is it under his name? Which I think is an interesting thing, because I could go back to like what we've talked about before about like contracts and can you use someone's name in this? Like if you gave someone the opportunity to run a Baka run and then they decided, okay, well, we just finished this round, I'm going to run it again myself, but I'm going to use Chewy's name and I'm not going to put him in there. And you hadn't agreed to that before. That's an issue. Yep. Right. And that's kind of the issue here, is like they're using his name for it. Even if they're in their rights to run it, I think that's something that they need to go back and figure out and maybe approach situations differently when they're running things. If the person whose name is on it is not aware of what's happening, like they need to know.
I mean, think about this. Companies get sued like millions and millions of dollars for doing stuff like this, right? Like this is, you put a brand name, if a brand goes and throws a brand name on it without discussing it, or they've ended that contract, and then, let's say, I'm going to pick on Old Navy because I love Old Navy. Let's say Old Navy decides to release a bunch of Nike swoosh shirts and they work with Nike at first, and then Nike's doesn't really say anything, and then they release a bunch of Nike swooshes. Nike has every right to basically sue them until Old Navy is no longer a corporation.
Yeah.
And that's kind of this. Like you're literally making something, putting someone's name on it, arguably getting more sales because that name is on it, that name is attached to it, and running the risk of fucking with this guy's reputation and this guy's quality control. And especially if most artisan makers, if you ask them, show me your B stock box, it's like a crate, because most artisan makers pride themselves on quality control, and it's gonna be a rough time in that situation.
What I find very interesting is that initially Drop came back and said that they were like, they changed their tune, right? Like earlier we had someone in our Discord posted, or Tarson posted it, of saying that the caps that they were selling were left over from a previous run and not this situation. So I find it weird that they kind of changed their tune in the same day of like, oh, well, these were leftovers from a previous run that he was aware of. And then now they're saying, no, we had the files to make this and like to run this. We were full within our rights because of this, and Bob doesn't really have anything to do with it. So it is interesting that they're changing their tune like literally within hours of each other of what the situation is. So I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting.
We'll find out. It's, at the end of the day, Bob has every right to attack them. If they're going to do this, hopefully we can end this with as minimal, if I'm Drop, I'm just taking the whole thing off and dealing with it before. Kind of like the Shoko thing, right? They just stopped it. They're like, let's stop. Like Kono handled that perfectly. Let's stop it. Let's go back. Let's pump the brakes. Let's dial it back. Let's figure out what we're going to do before we piss everybody off.
Yeah. And they did. They did remove it, and they're saying it's basically until they come to a resolution, the sale is on hold, and they're talking with all parties until they can figure out what the next step is, which is the same thing that happened with Shoko, which I think Shoko is either running right now or runs soon.
I think it's running. I think it just started, if I remember.
Yeah, so I'm sure they will come to a resolution and get it figured out.
No, AKB, that was great. That was great. So some good spice. I feel like we had. It's like New product, cool. Not a fan, but if you like it, like it. Spice as fuck. And then, some like it could. I'm glad. It was actually Osiris and I talked about this much earlier in the day when this all got announced. It's kind of progressed throughout the day. Obviously, we've been tracking it, and as of right now, there appears to be at least there is movement, right? At least there's some sort of communication that's happening. So if this is something that you are dying for, maybe find something else. If this, it's one of those things. The good thing is this isn't like a keyboard or like a key set that was already making a crap ton of money. Drop, because Drop is Drop, they kind of announce these things sporadically. You kind of have to keep on track of Drop or you'll miss stuff. So it's just one of those things I think that just look out for, and do your research as well. Do your research, stick, follow the artists and makers and all that stuff, because hopefully and what I hopefully everyone got their money back for whoever paid for these, because this could have gotten out of control quickly, but luckily it did not.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I'm sure they'll come to a resolution. It'll probably be back on sale. I'm sure that's probably what will end up happening, is it will be back on sale. So if you like the way it looks, just wait a couple weeks and you could probably buy it. But yeah,
bookmark it and check it once a day.
Spicy day, lots of stuff happening. I feel like we'll probably end up having to follow up on some of these especially with the Graen stuff, and obviously you'll have a kit come in. You'll be able to check that out. But I believe it's time.
I believe it is time.
Get your pictures ready, because it is Keyboard of the Week time. Go into our Discord, head on over there, throw a picture in of the keyboard either you're using, put it in the Keyboard Pictures channel. We're going to take a look at all of them, and we are going to pick our favorites, and then we will let you decide on what will be the Keyboard of the Week. And Chewy, what do they get?
You are going to get a special role in the Discord. If you have noticed, we have updated our album to the album that plays over the background is the Keyboard of the Week winners. Not only that, it's going to be the banner on the Discord. You're going to be in our little Keyboard of the Week Hall of Fame, which I don't know if I updated last week. I did not. My bad. It will be updated, I promise. We've got plans for that at the end of the year, as well as this MK rank. So if you enjoy going to MK rank, be sure to check out MK rank. They've got really cool. That sounded like a sponsor. We're not sponsored by them. That's just a cool dude, and he's got a cool little website. And you can go rate your own. You can go. You can rate switches, linear switches. You can rate keycaps. Now you can rate the Keyboard of the Week stuff. So very, very cool that he keeps up with it.
Already got some good ones coming in. I'm going to start with Kratos. That was in there before, but I think we'll get the proper introduction by Mr. Langlandia himself. Here it is.
Welcome to Keyboard of the Week, brought to you by Mechs on Deck.
Alrighty. Welcome to Keyboard of the Week. First up, what do we got here, Chewy?
This looks like an NK65. I know that because you wrote the name in the title. Outside of that, I would have no idea what this is. But it's got creams and some custom keycaps. Looks like a DSA kind of set. Very solid. I love the theme with it. You got the coiled cable. You got the little succulent there. Sorry for the yawn. I appreciate that I don't know if the keycap set came with this or you had the option or what. I appreciate that you got the mod colored pipe key in there. So respect. Great looking board. And you got lucky enough to get on the NK65. So well done.
Yeah, looks good. Looks clean. I mean, this is I'm so envious of the people that are getting into the community right now, because the options that they can get at the same prices as what we were getting in 2017, 2018 is insane. Like the fact that this could be someone's first board and it looks this good and I'm sure feels and sounds as good as this does, pretty crazy.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Uh-oh.
did we drop?
Nope. I don't know. I think
We're
it was
back.
me.
No, we're back. I dropped some frames. My internet's going a little
okay.
bit crazy. Yeah, we
There we go.
submit the pics in the Discord. We're good. We're back. We're green. Submit the pics in the Discord. Exclamation point Discord in the chat, and then keyboard pictures. Throw them in there, and we'll take a look at them. So,
Hell yeah. Next up, we've got a split 65% static age. If you are in the chat, please let us know exactly what this is. So it looks, I forgot the name of this set. Or is this the KBD fans?
I think it's the.
I think it's from KBD fans. It's kind of the Apple look to it. And it's, I've always I don't know. I'm not, honestly, I have no idea like anything about this case because I don't know a whole lot of keyboard cases that are split cases, and two, I don't know if this is 3D printed. The Q frequency.
Yeah.
Okay, so there it is. So cool little board. I like that. You know, it's got. I don't really care for the knob, but I appreciate that this is just a cool looking board. This is a board you throw it out on your desk at work. It's definitely going to get a few people stopping by and asking, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, this looks nice. So he actually posted this twice. He posted it a little bit later, and he said this is the P3D carbon fiber infused PLA case for Q frequency V2. Little XDA caps with the novel keys creams with the stem swap to the Inver Oompa Loompa stems. So, and very light, 60 grams. Points off for the 60 grams. Yeah. Not for me. Not for Chewy. Yeah. I know that for sure.
I hate heavy boards. That's why I made the Baka so light.
But no, this looks great. Like, it looks really cool, and you've got that pink mid plate thing that looks great too. So, I'm kind of surprised that this doesn't have 8008 on it. We had quite a few 8008 boards last week. So, but this looks great.
This next one took me a second. I thought this was like a render, like a designed image. No, it's a picture. So this is the Datamancer walnut case, novel keys, creams in a wooden case. That's gonna sound good. It's going to sound talky. SA 1965, not a set you see very often, and it goes really well with the wooden case.
Yeah, this looks clean in the wood case. The picture, it looks like you've kind of like almost tried to digitize the picture into the background, which I think looks cool. That's a cool little aesthetic as well. This almost looks like a logo. Like I feel like you could, if you put a name on the walnut top, it would look. This could be like a logo as well. I also don't know what those words are. But yeah, this looks really cool. SA 1965 is a cool looking set. You used to be able to buy it still on the PMK website. I think you might.
Yeah.
Be able to.
I haven't visited PMK in a long time, but yeah.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. Looks great.
What do we got up next?
Next up is a Space 65 with GMK Striker. Again, third board in a row, I think, with creams.
Yep. All cream so far.
We're getting creamy tonight. We're getting creamy.
All creamy. This is a nice Nautilus looking iPhone, iPhone 32. No, it's very Striker is such a great set in person. It's a fantastic looking set. I love the kind of, it's very vibrant, very in your face. I think this is a great color choice. So well done. Well done. And I know these boards sound really good.
This board is loud. This board is loud, but
statement piece.
It works. Like it's cohesively loud, and I think that there's something beautiful in being cohesively loud. At least in a keyboard, maybe not in a person. Depends on what you're into. But no, it looks great. It looks great.
Absolutely. Next up, DDD Klein, which we will be talking to tomorrow, as the Vanagon. This is actually a pretty cool board. This is something that I would totally mess with. It's great for gaming. You got that. You got everything you need for gaming. So, but it's HEB black keycaps, Soho switches, 69 gram spirit springs, FR4 plate. I watched a lot of this build. If you guys are not watching DD Klein, he's got some awesome content coming out right now. So very, very, very clean.
Yeah.
This is not as loud as the last board.
This is a very subdued board, a very subdued build. It looks super clean. This board, like you said, would be great for gaming. If you are thinking about getting into 40s, but you still want to have a little bit of your numro or whatever you want up there, you can still have it. So, yeah, I think this looks cool.
You know what I'm going to call this board?
What?
Not a key cult. A key cult box. Because it reminds me of the key cult box.
Okay, I see it.
Like, there it is.
The color, the little
color,
angle
the
as
angles.
well.
Yeah.
I see it. Yeah, this looks great. Also, check out DD Decline. He'll be with us tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central. Talking, hanging out,
chatting it up. Next up, Stash Builds Boards, another great content creator that you guys should be checking out. His Sunday streams, always very chill. E6.5 PC plate, cherry housings with Oompa Loompa stems, 205 and 105 on the springs with GMK minimal. Another loud board.
Yeah.
Not as loud, but it's very bright. Eye-catching. It's not like harsh loud. It's like bright loud.
Yeah, this is like the other one was like, I'm loud just to be loud. This is like the kid that's loud in class, but he's like funny, you know? Like you're okay with him being loud. You know, but this is clean. It's classy.
He commands a room. No, I'm sure this board sounds great. Stash, if you have a link to the build of this board, throw it in the chat. So I still love the wrist rest there. Such a fantastic wrist rest. And Stash is doing some awesome stuff, so check him out.
I also want to give a quick shout out to the weight and how it's white on the inside of the design of the weight. Kind of brings it all together, ties in the minimal.
Absolutely. What do we got up next?
Next is a Duck Octagon V2 with a little bit of a flavor of Avatar with the Papa Artisan GMK Cafe. Retooled blacks on a stainless steel plate. I know, Chewy, you were a fan of that.
I still like stainless steel plates. There was a point where I was about to make stainless steel plates in the baka or in the squid a thing.
Would have been interesting. It would have been
interesting. I think the big deciding factor is stainless steel is a little pingy. It is a little pingy, and without a proper, I want to get a stainless steel plate on a gasket mounted board because I think that's how it would really help. I think that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah.
No, this is great. This is great. It's an Oppa cap, solid, and Cafe just looks beautiful.
Yeah,
my set's coming in very soon.
Yeah, this looks great. Cafe looks good. Yeah. I mean, wait, is this Olivia or is it Cafe?
It's Mizu, actually.
It's Mizu? Okay. All right, moving on.
So, next up, the GMMK. This is our first GMMK. GMMK TKL Silent 67 grams, Taihao Deep Forest Blue, solid board. This is a board that, I kind of wish, whenever we started getting into mechanical keyboards, not custom mechanical keyboards, but mechanical keyboards, GMMK wasn't really a thing that much. The switch options were not really great. When we were, when Osiris and I got into gaming was probably 2015, 2016. The switches back then were not where they're not what they are now. This would be an amazing board if you're kind of new to the hobby and you're like, I like my TKL and I don't want to go super duper expensive and I want to get something hot swap to try different things. Boom, here it is.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to what we were saying before of like, you can start out with this. You know what it is. You don't have the frightened, like, you don't have to feel like you have to be frightened by building it, but you still have the opportunity to later down the road, if a switch comes out, you can, throw them in there. If they have, you might have to cut off the PCB mount legs on some of them, but you can customize this board. You can keep it in your arsenal if you're someone that needs a full size board. They also have a full size board option, I believe, which is pretty cool because there's not a lot of full size options. Yeah, I mean, this is clean. This is a inexpensive way to get into the hobby, and it can be as great as you put in as the switches you put into it, right? Like you can continually upgrade this over time. And add nicer switches, lube your stabilizers, change it up. It's awesome.
Absolutely. So Thick Jimmy, 1, welcome to the hobby that you're new. Sorry about your wallet, bud. And 2, you're starting off with a much better board than Osiris and I had. So next up, looks like we had the repeat. That was the information for the Q-Frequency. Next up, our good buddy, Mr. SM Keyboards. I've been using that SM keyboard at work all week. Actually, the last 3 weeks because Graen's not here yet. But we got an SM60, as I like to call it, an SM60 isolation with a leaf spring brass plate. So I do know that he's been looking into doing isolation and gasket mounting on this type of keyboard. Couple of Metropolis artisans while also sporting Metropolis. He's got the flip space bar. He's got split backspace. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. This looks so clean. Like this looks so good. This looks so good. Like
there's not much else to say, right?
Yeah.
It's just that's a sick. I saw this on Instagram the other day. I was like, fuck, that looks awesome.
Like even down to the screws that hold the case together, right? Like it just looks so clean and like well thought out and put together, which is like I think an underrated aspect about a lot of boards is like how well thought out every piece is and how cohesive it works. This just it looks
absolutely
so clean.
And this is actually a great tie-in to the last board we looked at. These SM keyboards are amazing quality. For a price that's really not a whole lot more than the GMMK. Especially if you get, if you throw like an instant 60 in there, it's still going to be hot swap. So it's not, there's not that like worry of soldering or having to pay someone to build you the board or learn how to build the board. This is that next step up. I think this is that fantastic step up. If you're able to get in on one of these buys, I highly recommend it. I love mine. Like I said, I use it every day. It's my work board right now. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, and they're light too. Like even with the copper or brass plates that you can get for them, they're still fairly light. You can take it to and from work every day. You can actually feel okay about putting it in your backpack. Like,
yeah, it's easy to toss in the bag. You get one of the smaller like little cases, the thinner cases. You can just toss in the bag to make sure your caps don't fall off. So solid choice.
Next up, we have a board that I'm actually kind of excited about, the keycap set, because I've been loving this set more and more. This is Below J's PC E6.5 with a polycarb full plate, turquoise Telios, with MX black stems and tops, which is interesting, and GMK Analog Dreams, which is a set that I have been enjoying more and more. I think Analog Dreams looks cool. I think it looks nice.
Yeah, it's good contrast. Personally, not for me, but I love what you did with this because it's kind of like bright and colorful and then subdued. Right? It's like the further you go in, the more subdued it is. You're not having to deal with any contrast issues. Solid choice.
Didn't know what to do.
So.
Do you, with the yellow accents, do you get a yellow enter? Because I feel like a yellow enter would look good.
Yeah.
A little touch just to not necessarily do the full diving board,
Yeah. Change up the diving board. So next up, Deeds with the Tokyo 60 with Dami Key times Kale Cyberpunk switches. Very cool. I like the theme. I like that. I mean, it's kind of got the Game Boy theme to it a little bit, which I appreciate. It's got the Super Nintendo. I guess it's probably closer to Super Nintendo. Cool little set. I enjoy the Tokyo 60. Solid board. It's really good as like a kit, right? It's a solid little kit.
Yeah, this looks like a mixture of a couple different keycap sets because it looks like you've got some of the keys from the Novel Keys Vaporwave PBT set, and then an additional set. So yeah, I mean, this looks cool. It's a cool little theme you've got going on, trying to go for the cyberpunk theming, which is a cool color scheme. So yeah, I think it looks great.
Absolutely. I'm looking up Dhamaki right now just to see if I can find anything on this, because I am not 100. We'll keep going. I'll wrap back around to that.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Soulful Tofu. I'm gonna struggle with that every time I say it. Soulful Tofu.
Soulful Tofu.
Yeah, words are hard. It's his hers KBD 67 lubed and filmed tangerines with EPBT Gawk black on white. Looks great. Super clean.
Very. Staple. Solid. Love the unbuilt pick too. Looks clean. I'm sure this is a great board. Like, this is one of those boards that I'm like, these higher end KBD fan boards are just solid, and I'm sure you love this board. I've heard nothing but great things about the KBD 67. So it's fantastic. I like that it's a fixed plate too. That's something that you don't see a whole lot of when it comes to like mass produced boards. So like, respect.
Absolutely. What do we got next, Chewy?
What do we got next? We got a Tofu 65. Is that the same one?
That's
that
the
might
same.
be the same one. That's
Yeah,
the same one.
it.
Okay. A Romeo is the little Cozy Fanny 2D keyboards. Romeo, we built a Discipline 65 recently. This is a really cool little kit. It's got GMK Camping Round 2. I actually haven't seen too many Camping Round 2 picks outside of Brez. So really, really cool. I love what you did with the picture. It's a fantastic picture. Very thematic. I love the kind of wood bounce. This is a great picture. Cool looking board. What we got creams on it's tonight. Last week was 8008. Now it's Novel Keys creams.
It is cream.
So
yeah, we're getting creamy tonight, as they would say. No, this looks awesome. And I'll agree with Sweet Red Peppers in chat. This is a cute little guy. I love these boards. I've said it every time we have one on Keyboard of the Week. I want to get one of these. I want to get one.
It's a Cozy Fanny 2D. Let's chat. Keeb Noob says, this is my brother's first keyboard build. Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. So
next up, we've got a 5 degree from Space Potato with Cat DPO 385 with blueberries. This is an aggressive tactile board. I love the font on this keycap set. I think the font looks cool. It looks super clean. This looks pretty
solid.
Awesome.
So I love the theme. The orange bounces off nicely. I'm not a big fan of orange in general, but this is a cool. You've got you said it looks like a cyan, maybe silver. It's just bouncing some light strangely, but I kind of like that, the contrasting colors. So
it looks great. Super clean. I'm sure this is a great board for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Bob, so next up, we've got the Key 65 with lubed and filled H1s, GMK Striker, titanium infused logo. So very cool. I'm sure this sounds fantastic. It's funny. I saw, I guess it was a Noxieri 262, or 282. I forget the number. 268. There we go. One of those. With this very similar setup. I love Striker looks so good on polycarb. It's like not even funny. This is easily this is one I would absolutely go type on. Like I would beeline to go see it because I love the look. And you got the Bob Gingars in there. We'll sprinkle.
Yeah, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The Key 65, you're messing up if you didn't go for the logo, this logo version of it. This thing looks awesome. I love the logo rather than the actual key logo. I think this just ties together, especially with Striker. Also, Keep Noob, thank you for gifting 3 months of Tier 1 to Mandrew 1789.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think Striker's going to start going up.
Oh, yeah.
So next up, Phase, PM me after so I can buy this board off of you. This is the Grid 600 with LED, the LED module. It's got the DSA Galaxy class. I think that's the name of this. Yep. Or Galactic DSA. Star Wars theme. Definitely the Stormtrooper vibe. This is fucking awesome. I love this. This is fantastic. Love the theme.
Yeah.
Just awesome. Just plain awesome. You even got the mouse to go along with it. Like, well done.
Yeah, I mean, the Grid 600 is just such a cool board. I think Alex was building one this past week. I think he built one a couple days ago. Excuse me. It's a board that I know both Chewy and I really enjoy this board, and we wish we would have gotten one last night. Yeah. You know what? Hey, remembering is hard. But it was a Grid 600, so I remembered that at least. But this thing looks awesome. The theme that you've got going is perfectly executed. You've got like every bit of it going. So, yeah, this based on theming alone, this is one of the better ones we've seen.
Yeah. So next up, another NK65 with creams. I'm sensing a theme here. Spring swapped Blueberry Springs. Ooh, got the heavier. I like it. Filmed and lubed Crytox 205. Stock stabs, lubed, band-aid, and clipped SA laser. It looks great. It looks like it's, I'm sure, kind of zoomed in, so I don't have the full picture, but it's a solid looking board. I like that you went, with laser. I'm not the biggest fan of laser, I'm 100% honest, but I do like that you went with all of the novelties. I think that's, if you're going to do laser, you got to do it right and you got to make it look loud.
Yeah, I mean, laser is meant to be a loud set, and I think I feel like you said this before, but I feel like laser looks best in SA. Like, I feel like that plays to the theming of laser, of just being a little bit over the top, a little bit crazy. I think SA fits laser's style. This looks great. NK65 aluminum. I still want one of these. I still want not necessarily aluminum. I want to try the purple one, but yeah, these like cheap boards that came out, I want to try them all. I want to see how good everyone that's new is getting it, because I'm envious. Yeah, this looks great.
Very nice. Next up, we got a black Tofu 60 with an aluminum plate, BM60 PCB with novel keys, cream switches. There it is. Lube Dark Stabs, Japanese root PBT caps. This is one of those, this is most likely towards one of your first builds, because these are kind of older. I'm going to assume these are older, an older build, but this is a solid, like, man, I wish the Tofu came out like 5 months before it did. I would have just gotten a Tofu. I said, screw it.
Yep. Hey, this thing looks great. It looks great. Super clean. I've always really enjoyed these EPBT Japanese sets and the different versions that they have of it. This looks super clean. Also, Kimchi Jody Boy, welcome, my dude, and thank you for the shout out for the title.
So that was a team effort. Guys, if you have not checked out Kimchi Jody Boy, he is just the one that typed in chat. Go check out give him a follow. Hit that little alert button. I watched his last two of his last three, I think. I forget. I try and watch as much as I can. I have been trying. I watch a lot of DD Decline and Kimchi Jody Boy. Kimchi Jody Boy's got some solid streams going on right now. So
Next up, we have a vintage board. It's SK. This is an old IBM board. This thing looks great.
This thing looks. We've been saying loud tonight. This thing looks audibly loud. I can hear how loud this keyboard is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vintage board. I don't know if this is actually his picture because it may not be, but yeah, this thing looks cool. It looks great. I'm sure it sounds loud and sounds cool and feels cool. We tried a lot of vintage boards at NorCal because there was like an entire wall of them.
Yup.
Yeah, this is loud in the best way. This is if you're not into vintage boards like DD Decline says, this is still fire.
This is fire. You gotta respect the game, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a solid board. So and last up, Mr. Bantership got bored today through SA Penumbra on the And Pro plus Ski Artisan double gold escape. This is one thing I love about this hobby, and this is one thing I love about you can take something like an And Pro and make it look super nice with a keycap set. I could have told you that this was a Tofu, and most people would have believed it. I read it, and there was an And Pro. I would have assumed this was a Tofu before I did anything, and I because from the top down, a lot of keyboards kind of just look the same of 60%. Like, congratulations, it's a rectangle. Especially with the squared off corners. That could have been a Clippa, could have been a Tofu. No, it's an And Pro, but you made And Pro look a lot better and a lot cleaner, and probably something that you appreciate more because it's got it's cooler, it's different.
Yeah, for sure. But I do feel like with the way that he typed it, this is like the keyboard equivalent of felt cute, might delete later.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome.
SA Penumbra looks great. It's a super clean looking set, especially in SA. It looks really cool.
That is it for this. So I've got two, and I think you're going to pick one of them, so I'll probably pick the other.
Okay.
Because to me, there are two, if not three, very clear up fronts. But I believe I pick first today since you won last week. I'm going to go with the Stormtrooper.
I figured you would.
Before I give out my honorable mention, I'll let you pick yours.
Man, I'm still deciding. It's a couple. I gotta go with the SM keyboards, man.
That was my second. That was absolutely my second. I've got my what's it called? I just said it and I can't remember. Honorable mention is going to be the Camping Romeo.
The Camping Romeo? Yeah.
Camping Romeo, honorable mention. For sure. So we've got SM keyboards list, and we have got the Grid 600. I'm just going to put Star Wars Grid 600. So the poll is at the top. Once again, if you win, you're going to get the roll, and you're going to get into the Keyboard Hall of Fame. Your picture is going to be posted top of our Discord. It's going to be put on MK Ranks. It's going to be put on all the things.
Mom, get all the camera. I want something. Not yet. SM
yet.
Keyboards, not yet. You still got to win the chat vote.
I love it. So, real quick, let's go through some sponsors real quick. So, first and foremost, switchmod.net/Mechs on deck. Keep an eye out. Is it beta? It's beta, right? GMK beta coming soon, set by Heine and Switchmod. Be sure to check that out. I know they've got some lube stations as well. That's 4% off of work on that. So check that out. Dixie Mech can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. Pick up GMK Minimal. To me, that's a staple. You're not going to be unhappy getting Minimal. It's a staple. So just go pick it up and use our account. Use our code. Helps us out. Project Keyboards, you can go to mechsondeck.project.link for some Dolch R5 action. Got some really really classic set. And if you want that sought after row 5 or that row 0 to 4 instead of 4, head over there. You can go to canonkeys.com/Mechs on deck. You can pick up some Canon Caps 0. Another great set, very simple, plain set. First set by the Canon Caps. As well as they got some really cool desk mats, and they have the Instant 60 PCB. Highly recommend. Honestly, probably my favorite 60% PCB that is hot swap right now. So be sure to check that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, big shout out to our partners. First up, you have got Zap Cables. Pick yourself up a nice little custom cable or a DIY kit if you want to do it yourself. We got a video. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Type Beast, sign up for the newsletter at typebia.st.
Just released one the other day, yesterday.
They're
it was
always
fantastic.
solid. Always solid. And then last but not least, Smith and Rune. Go to smithrune.com. Pick yourself up some fancy joggers, hats, merchandise. They got t-shirts, sweatpants, hats, the whole 9. Plus information about the Iron 180 that'll be running soon. So you wanted an Iron 165, but maybe you don't like 65%. It's like Chewy. Maybe consider getting an Iron 180 because this 165 was a great board. Can't imagine the 180 will be any different. So this is a heated race, Chewy.
I'm excited. I'm doing my research. Ooh. By one. Congratulations to both Osiris once again. I thought I might win with Star Wars. You know,
I thought so too. I
got some Star Wars. But this just goes to show SM Keyboards, honestly, guys, check him out. Follow him on Instagram. Keep updated because you will not be unhappy, as well as he'll fix any issues. Maybe not any. If you throw yours down the stairs, that's not that's not his fault. But yeah, check out SM Keyboards. Congratulations as well. FaZe, congratulations. You did a fantastic job with that. I still think I'm keeping that picture for myself, for my personal keyboard collection. So just well done.
Yeah.
Well done to all parties. What do we got going on this week?
So tomorrow we have Mr. DD Decline will be joining us at 8 p.m. Central. Come hang out with us. We're going to be talking about content creation, talking about keyboards. We're going to be having a good time. It'll be a lot of fun. So come hang out with us. And then Saturday at 2 p.m. Central, I will be rebuilding kind of my OSA with some Novel Keys silk switches. Got the black silks in. I'm going to be building that up. I got a second plate and second PCB to put them in. If you're not familiar with what the OSA is, it is an Alice style board. So yeah, come check that out Saturday at 2 p.m. Central.
Hell yeah. Axot says we should do a beer chug challenge.
That's not fair. I don't want to do that. You will win. It's not even a competition. If you don't know, well, chat doesn't know, but Chewy...
I don't typically chug beers on chat.
Chewy can literally just open his throat and just devour a beer in a second. I can chug fast, but that's normal, normal people chugging. Chewy is an actual animal when it comes to chugging.
It's one of those things that's I didn't ask for this superpower, and I would have chosen a different one, honestly. I was really cool for 3 years. And now I'm just kind of a useless talent at this point. Shotgun competition win. That's another thing. I can shotgun one in less than a second. It's literally it's a talent that I hate that I have. But when my wife, when she saw it the first time, she was like, "What the shit?" And I don't party like that anymore. I'm 28. I have a full-time job, a wife, an amazing dog, and I like waking up the next day not wanting to die. So, but it is my burden to bear, as Colt said. So we had a this was a shout out from Willio. He gave us, because there's a streamer named Snowbike Mike. Snowbike Mike. So I don't know much about him. Our mod and friend Willio, I guess, really likes him. He does some gaming podcasts and Xbox sponsored podcast. He's playing Flight Simulator, which, by the way, dude, like low key Flight Simulator nowadays, because I used to play when it was like, you know, the 2000 Flight Simulator was just like block pixels. I would totally get in on that. But I'm going to type in, show us your keyboard. And let's spread the good word of keyboards. Are you setting up there? Yep.
I'm setting it up. So yeah,
boom.
Playing Flight Simulator, which is on Game Pass right now. So if you're interested and you got Game Pass, go check it out. It's like a giant download, but you know, hey, it'll be fun.
And for those relatively new, on the Tuesday streams, we try and go spread the good word of keyboards to other streams. Wednesdays we like to send them to other keyboard streamers, but we got to grow. We got to spread our wings. And even if this gets one person in the keyboard hobby, that's one extra person who gets to be in this awesome hobby. So thank you, everyone. Buy a Switch tester.
Bye now.